My generation is often told that we will be the ones to fix climate change. Though before we can fix something, we have to understand it, especially a resource that quietly powers almost everything around us, and that resource is oil. Oil has been known to humans for thousands of years. It was recorded in China as early as 600 BC, though it wasn't until its discovery in Pennsylvania in the late 1800s that it actually began to shape everyday life on a global scale. Today, the world consumes over 100 million barrels of oil on a daily basis. The United States, Russia, and Saudi Arabia produce much of it, with other nations such as Canada and China also having major contributions. This level of dependency means that when oil supply is disrupted by conflict, politics, or geography, the effects ripple through economies, markets, and ordinary lives across the world. Much of today's debate about oil is focused on climate change and whether we should be using less of it or none of it at all. However, before we can answer that question, we have to understand how oil has become so deeply woven into modern life and whether society could realistically function without it. Roughly 90% of the world's roads are made using asphalt, and more than 95% of the roads in the UK are made using asphalt. Asphalt relies on a petroleum-based binder known as bitumen. This highly viscous hydrocarbon is produced as a residue of oil refining. Bitumen binds aggregates of granite, gravel, and basalt to create durable road surfaces. And without oil, modern roads would simply not exist. And without roads, travel becomes harder, supply chains slow down, and everyday goods struggle to reach the people who need them. Plastics are essential to modern life. They are durable, versatile, lightweight, and cheap to produce at scale, which is why they're used in countless everyday objects, from food containers to shopping bags. Roughly 99% of all plastics made globally are made using fossil fuel feedstocks, primarily oil and natural gas. And without oil, modern plastics would not exist either. At the same time, plastic waste and pollution have become serious global issues, with poor disposal, low recycling rates, and the long lifespan of plastics having caused significant environmental damage, particularly to marine ecosystems. Without oil-based plastics, society would rely far more on natural alternatives, such as wood, glass, and paper. This would place a strain on natural resources and result in a more labor-intensive and expensive economy. A clear example of the importance of plastics is in the modern smartphone. Each phone has thousands of components, many of which are reliant upon plastics and petrochemicals. These range from SIM trays to the adhesives which hold the phone together. Plastics are polluting our planet, but removing oil from them changes how modern life works, not just packaging. On the roads in 2026, there are roughly 1.6 billion cars, roughly 90% of which have an internal combustion engine running on petrol or diesel. Transportation accounts for roughly 45% of the global oil demand, which makes it a key driver of the price of oil and the consumption of it. Oil also helps make cars, not just fuel them. Petrochemicals and oil-based substances are used all over cars, from the front bumper to the tires to the wiring insulation, which makes your sat-nav work. Before oil, large-scale transport relied almost entirely upon steam engines powered by coal. Removing oil would be a fundamental shift in how people and goods are moved around the world. Pollution from transport is a major problem, but the ability to move food and materials efficiently is one of the foundations of modern society. Electric vehicles are an important alternative, however, they are not yet suitable for all long-range transport or the transportation of heavy goods. Oil also plays a critical role in the production of food. Many fertilizers are made using fossil fuel feedstocks, whilst oil powers the farm machinery, harvesting equipment, and the global logistics networks which transport food from fields to cities. Without oil, mechanized farming would be reduced drastically, which would make it difficult to produce enough food to sustain the global population. The result would be a swift shift in the distribution of the global workforce, going back to pre-industrial conditions where most people worked in agriculture. Without oil, there would be many food supply problems, increasing the risk of famine and food insecurity globally. Oil also plays a critical role in modern medicine. It is used in plastics, synthetic rubbers, but petroleum-derived materials are embedded across the worldwide healthcare systems. Essential items rely on oil-based plastics and polymers, like syringes, IV bags, and tubing, to rubber gloves, and even some prosthetic devices. These materials are chosen because they are sterile, flexible, durable, and inexpensive to produce at scale. Oil is also used in more advanced medical equipment, such as MRI and X-ray scanners, which allow doctors to diagnose disease without surgery. Oil is also used in medicine as well, not just the equipment involved. Petrochemicals are used in pharmaceutical manufacturing as stabilizers, coatings, and delivery systems, whilst they are also used in research labs for culturing microorganisms and the development of new drugs. In conclusion, oil is more than just a fuel. It's embedded in our roads, technology, transport systems, and food supply and healthcare. It's played a huge role in the shaping of the modern world. The challenge we face is not simply pretending we can switch off from using oil, but finding realistic alternatives which allow us to protect the planet for now, whilst also keeping it safe for the future generations. Thank you.